Hi guys, so to continue our series on learning basic crochet or single crochet or double crochet, today we're going to make this elf pattern hand warmer. Now again, you can make this in any color. Obviously you don't have to add these little detail if you want to just make striped hand warmers or all one color, however, but the more basic tutorial would have been the tutorial right before this, the part 2. Unfortunately, really quick, I do want to mention on this video that at the very end of the video for this, I'm supposed to hot glue down these little items. It is literally like a 40-second clip, 30-40 seconds, and it got left out. And you know, it takes about 3 hours to render the video. It was an hour and a half. It took 4 hours to upload. I was like, oh my gosh, like I could take it back down, render it again, add that 30 seconds, but I mean, it would have been a whole other day dilemma just to get it up. So I added a little clip at the end, and you can click on in the description box on part 2 or at the very end cap, there's a little video that says adding features to hand warmers. And it's basically this. It's just hot glue. I mean, all I did was add hot glue to the back of my piece and push it down. I mean, it's literally nothing. And then I hand cut these out. I didn't do that on video, but I did that later. So like I said, I might add some holly to the snowman and just hand cut little leaves, and there they are. So today, what we're going to learn again is to switch out the colors. We are still going to start with single crochet just like in the last one, and then going into double crochet. Okay, so this is what we will need to get started. Okay, so initially these are the yarns I used. The only thing is I'm going to switch out the white that used to be red Heart Super Saver in white for this cute soft and sleek yarn bee from Hobby Lobby. You can use any white worsted weight yarn. This one has a little metallic polyester running through. I thought it was cute, so I'm going to use this. And for the green and the red, I have an impeccable yarn from Loops and Threads. This is from Michael's, super inexpensive. And again, a number 4 worsted weight yarn. Let me show you where it says that. Again, if we're beginning, I always pick that up. I guess, you know, in my initial video, I also forgot to mention DK or sport weight yarn. Well, I might have mentioned sport weight. So there's all kinds of different types of yarns. You'll get more familiar as you go along. So I'm using those. And, you know, I didn't mention the colors because I basically only have one red, but this is called Red Hot. And the green is called Kelly Green. And I don't know if this one has a name. White Sparkle. Okay. So we're going to need that. You're going to need a size 5mm crochet hook. Again, like I said, this one's from, excuse me, AliExpress, and it says it's a G, but that's not correct. It's a H hook, or /8, but 5mm. I did use this one recently from Hobby Lobby, and it hurt my hand. So unless you crochet like this, where you really hold on to it, it's not the kind that you would want to use for this kind of crochet, because it just makes your hand open up a lot in the back and it started hurting. So I will use just a basic one that has a rubber grip, and this one works for me just fine. A tapestry needle, of course, and the little bells I just got from the dollar store. You can add whatever you like. I was going to do all silver. I was looking to see if I had a medium silver one, but I didn't. But I had the green ones, I have red ones, I have gold ones, so these are just in the Dollar Tree. Just a couple little bells. And that is all we're going to need. So very easy, same pattern as before. I'll have the link for you guys, or almost the same body basically, with the switch off of color. And then we're going to make this little guy. And this little guy is a little more advanced, but it'll help you out, because a lot of times in patterns you might have to reduce the number of something or add on, right, more stitches. And so this one we're going to be adding stitches, because it's going to start with 1 single crochet to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 and up to 7. So it'll teach you kind of how to make something like this, a little motif that ends up making like a little triangle that I just made up in the top of my head, because I've had other patterns where you have to like make a triangle, or usually reduce to a triangle or whatever, and I increase to a triangle. So I do have my little notes written down here. And of course, like I said, the links will be in the description box. And on the end cap, you'll have the links to the part 1, part 2. This should be much quicker because we already learned the single crochet and we learned double crochet. So all I'm going to do is just get to it. Okay, guys. So sorry, I filmed that intro a couple days ago and just getting around to actually doing the glove. So let me put this to the side. Right now, we're just going to use the white, and we're going to keep the red handy because we're going to use the red in just a real quick minute here. So I'm going to keep this to the side. And again, really simple pattern, same pattern as I used for the snowman glove. Let me pull this out of the way here. This thing had a lot of knots in it, so that was one thing I was really frustrated with. Anyway, I kind of got distracted. I made kimchi. I'm working on my kombucha today. I let it go too long. So with kombucha, you know, you kind of want to flavor it and bottle it every 7 to 10 days. And mine has gone on almost a month. So what happens then, you can use it, it basically becomes vinegar. And you can do different things with it, or, you know, throw it out, or put it in your hair as a hair product. You can use it as cleaning product, whatever you want to do with vinegar, basically. So I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm just going to toss it and start over, but that's just how it works. Okay, so, not that, I guess that's neither here nor there. So the first thing we're going to do is the white, okay? That way we just go from there, building up towards red. And going on, then so 2 single crochet rows, the first 2, and then 2 single crochet rows in red, 2 single crochet rows in white, rows in white, 2 single, and we'll talk about that as we get there. We're basically just doing 6 single crochet rows, 2 white, 2 red, 2 white, and then we're going to switch to red to do our double crochets. So as always, we start off with our, sorry, I'm going to do that again. I have the kids here today and I got distracted. So again, I always like to make a knot, just kind of holding that end, putting it through there. Then we're going to put our hook through and then just grab the yarn and pull it through to make a loop. Of course, it wants to fall off. And all this stuff is really detailed in that first video, okay? So you can leave a longer string at the end of that. I'm not going to worry about it because I can work that in, it's fine. So we're going to chain 27. So I'm going to do this a little bit faster because, like I said, we did this slow on the first one. So, and all you're doing is going around and pulling up a loop for your chain. And since I'm chit-chatting, I'm not counting, so I'll go back in just a little bit and see what I have, and then I'll add more or take some away if that's what I need to do. I need more, probably 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So one tip here is do not pull this super tight. Do not pull this out tight. Like as I'm going in, I'm kind of pulling it all the way back. So it's giving you a nice size loop, okay? So we have 27. So we're going to single crochet into the second chain from hook. So not the first one, right? Not the first one, the second one. So dip in there. Again, I like to do it so that the top and the back loop are on your hook and you're just going into that bottom loop like this. Some people only like to catch the top loop, some people like to catch the back loop. So whatever you like, but I'm doing it the way I've always done for many, many decades. All right, and then single crochet across till we get to the end, and at the end we should have 26 single crochet, right? So that's 3, we have 4, 5, and I'm going to keep going, making sure not to twist this, and I'll be back when I get close to the end. Okay, I'm on 24, 25, and 26 single crochet. We're not changing colors yet. We're going to do 2 rows in white, then 2 rows in red. So that's the last one. Always a little bit harder on that chain foundation chain. Do that. Okay, that's our last single crochet. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to do 26 single crochet across. So the way I wrote the pattern is single crochet in first single crochet, which is this one, this little hole right here, right? This would be the second one. So I want you to have a good view of that. That first little hole. There's nothing else to do. So in this first one, 1, 2, 3. And this is easier to do because now the foundation chain is pretty much moved on, right? So we have a little something more to hold on to. In fact, it's so easy, it keeps slipping out. 3, that was 4, 5. And I'm going to continue going until I get to the end, and I'll be back once I'm almost close to the end. Okay, so as I near the end of row 2, and the pattern will tell you to switch out to the red yarn to complete the last single crochet stitch. And that's how I like to do it. There's many different ways to do this, but do whatever you like. So this is the last stitch hole right here. That's number 26, single crochet. And I'm pulling up my loop, and then I'm going to bring over my red yarn and just put that right here in front of me too. And let me find where's the end of it. Here we go. So I'm just going to hold this in my hand. And usually I like put the short end closer to me, just when you curve it over like this, just because that's what's going to end up staying back here. And then I'm going to continue working with what's attached to the yarn ball, right? So what we're going to do is just hook that on there. I'm holding the white string just kind of taut and we're going to pull in that red one, and we just switched to red yarn. Again, if I want to, like I like to do when I do go to chain one or go to the next thing, I'll take both ends and wrap it around. It's going to put 2 loops on here, but we're still working with it as if it was 1 loop. That's just another way to kind of secure that yarn end. So later when I weave it in, it's already kind of in the work, okay? Now we're going to leave this white piece that's attached to the ball of yarn alone, because we're going to carry it up later, okay? Usually you carry up yarn in like knitting, so you don't cut it off, especially if you're doing like intarsia knitting, or if you were trying to knit something cute inside a pattern with a different color, and you just leave the yarn hanging there, and then when you come back later you pick it back up. So that's basically what we're doing here. We're just going to leave it hanging here, and when I come back to this side we're going to do 2 rows of red. So when I come back this way I'm going to pick up the white and leave the red, okay? So we chained 1, we're going to turn the work, and now I'm only going to be using the red yarn, leaving that end part over here. We don't need that anymore. And then single crochet. So single crochet in the first single crochet right here. 1, 2, 3, and go all the way across till you get to your 26th single crochet. I will be right back. So this is row 3 where we did the color change. And I will be right back. This is actually really fast. I could do this probably in front of y'all, but you know, I don't want to bore anybody. I pretty much did that in the last video, the first few rows, just so you saw that. And I will be right back. I'm almost pretty much halfway through that row. See, and I dropped my little stitch. Just make sure you pull up your loop nicely so you can get that back on there. Okay, and this is also a cute way to add an edging with a different color. Like a lot of times you make like a beanie or a cap or something at the end. You want to just add some single crochets all around. You can do the same thing, and you see it adds it really nicely. Looks nice. Okay, 2 more stitches here. 25 and 26 again. It's that last little nub. And this is simple, just like the rest of it. That was the end of row 3. So at the end of the row, we chain 1 and we turn. And now row 4, same thing. Single crochet in first single crochet, and then across. So 1 single crochet in each single crochet. And again, I will be right back, and then we're going to switch back to white and finish up the single crochet section, and then we're going to start double crocheting, okay? So I'll be right back to get row 4 completed. Okay, I'm at my 26th single crochet, and that's right here. Little hole for that. Go right in there, and now I'm going to leave the red alone, that red yarn that's attached to the ball, and I'm going to pick up our white yarn that's attached to the ball that we had left off after row 2, right? So I'm going to pick this guy up. You're not going to pull it super tight, you don't want to do that. You're just leaving it there, and what you're going to do is just bring it in. So I'm just going to wrap this around here to bring it in to switch back to using white. Okay, like I said, don't pull it super tight. If it is super tight, just kind of relax it. There we go. Leave a little bit of give there, right? So it's just kind of coming back from row 2. It's going to come up to row 4, which is going to start row 5. And that's it. That's our next color change. And I'm going to leave the red yarn just hanging here. And then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to start row 5 with white yarn and single crochet in the first single crochet. And all the way across. And this will be just your normal row of single crochet ending with the 26th single crochet at the end of the row. Okay, and I will be right back once I get towards that. Okay, so single crochet 25 and single crochet number 26 at the end of the row. That's the end of row 5, and we're just going to do chain 1 and turn. And now again, single crochet in the first single crochet. Oopsie. And again, the reason I'm starting off with single crochets, you can do double crochet rows and only do a few rows, so you don't have to do 3, is because I like that area in the hand to be a little, you know, if you're wearing this and you're outside and you have your sweater on and stuff, like this is nice and thick, right? Whereas opposed to this where it has like the little holes. This is to teach you guys double crochet, but also to make it faster, right? So I did want a little warmth, a little thickness in the front where the back is just done for speed and for a teaching point. So that's why I did it that way. But you can do double crochets, just do 3 rows of double crochet and then change out the color the one time and do it again. You know, it's up to you. But I'm going to finish up this row, and then when I come back I'll switch out to the red and we'll do our double crochets. Oopsie. Okay, this is the 26th single crochet on row 6, and we're going to switch back to red. So I just have it here. Again, I'm going to leave the white alone. I'm going to pick up the red yarn that is attached to the ball and just bring that up and hook it however you like. You want to hook it, you know, whatever. Just get it so that it comes up, okay? And again, kind of loosely so it's not tugging from row 4 all the way up to row 6. Okay, and now I'm going to leave the white alone, and I'm only picking up the red, chain 1 to complete row 6, and actually chain 2, because we just finished row 6, but we're going to start row 7, that is all double crochets. So chain 2, turn, let's get our double crochets going. So you already know, you're going to loop around, your yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over, through the last 2 loops. Yarn over, so a double crochet in the first single crochet and all the way across. So we're gonna have 26 double crochets when we're done. Next one. And next one at the end of this row, we are going to switch back to the white. We're gonna do that a couple times, back and forth, white, red, white, red. Okay. Ending on a red row. So we can then switch to green. And then the green cuff is just all green, double crochet, a few rows of that. So I'll be right back once I get to the end of this 7th row, close to the 26th double crochet of the row. Okay, so almost to the 26th double crochet of row 7. So that's 25. And we're gonna come up to 26. So for this one, to be honest, I probably would have, or I need to cut off the white from the other side because it's not on this side for me to bring it up, right? So I do need to go ahead and trim this off. And I'm going to leave a nice long string for weaving in the ends later. And I'm going to bring that white over here to this side to join it. Again, just like we've been doing. So I already pulled through the first 2 loops, and now I'm just going to bring this to finish off the last 2 loops. And that's how you join that to a double crochet. And again, like I said, I kind of like to keep both of the yarn ends together. So 1, 2, we have our 2, chain 2, and I'm going to leave that strand just leaning back, turn. And now we're going to use our double crochet in the white, again in the first double crochet and across. So loop in the first one, and the next one, and double crochet all the way across, ending with 26 double crochet. So I'll come back when I'm close to that, and we're going to switch off to red again, which again I could cut off right now or just wait till we're done, right? Because we need to get the red on the other side. But I will be right back once I get close to the 26th double crochet of row 8. Okay, so I'm just finishing up the 25th double crochet, and this is number 26. So again, yarn over, I'm going to pull through 2 loops, and before I pull through, I'm going to cut off the red from the other side and go ahead and pick it up on this side. To finish that double crochet. And again, I like to just keep them together, so I'm chaining 2, turning. This is row 9, 6, 7, 8, yeah, so row 9. And we're going to just double crochet into the first double crochet and then across. And I'll be back. Once I get to the end there, oh, that one split. So once I get to the end, I'll come right back. Okay, I got a little closer. I'm just finishing up the 25th double crochet in this row, and then our 26th one was right in there. Again, yarn through, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, and then the last 2 loops we're going to bring in the white. I'm just going to snip it off there and then bring it back over here. Keeping the red a little bit snug. We'll pull that white yarn in. And again, just to lock that in, I try to keep it chain 2, turn. Let me get this red yarn out of the way. And double crochet into the first double crochet. Again, like I explained in the last one, our chain 2 or a chain 1 does not count as the first single crochet or as the first double crochet. It's just a way to step up. And I'm just going to double crochet across the, what is this, row 10? Let me see, 6, 7, 8, 9, yes, row 10. So double crochet across and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm at the end here of the round 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, round 10, or row 10. Last time we're going to switch off to red. So again, pull through the first 2 loops of your double crochet and then bring our red over. And this time, well, actually at the end, we'll do that in a minute. Once you have to leave kind of a long end, but we'll talk about that. That's for when we're done with the red. And again, just hold on to that red, hold on to that white in your other hand, pull it through, tighten it up a little bit, and then chain 2 and turn. And this is row 11. We're going to finish up with red double crochets, and then we're going to switch out to the green yarn at the end of this row, and then everything else will just be green on the rest of the glove here. But let me let go of that. So double crochet into the first double crochet and then across. Sometimes see how the string came down here and it's just kind of sitting across. What you can do is double crochet or single crochet or do whatever your stitch is over it. And you're kind of sandwiching it in there, so now you don't have to weave it in at the end. Normally if my colors weren't so clashing like red and white, I wouldn't do that. Because you might see some of that red in this white here. But for right now, it works out okay because the stitches are so close together. But you can do that, and that's just another way of weaving in your ends without doing it at the end. You do it now as you're working, okay? So that's that. And then whenever you see that it's, you know, long enough or towards the end, you can just snip it off and then just keep working. But I will be right back once I get to the end of this row. And we'll switch out to green. Okay, so I'm pretty much at the end of round, I keep forgetting, 11. Is that right? Let me see, let me count that again. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, row 11. And here's the 25th double crochet, and then 26 double crochet we will bring in the green. So again, I yarned over, went through 2 loops. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the white yarn, leaving kind of a long end just in case we use this one for stitching up the side of the glove. And then I'm going to bring in our green. And we have our green here, and I'm just going to pull that in to finish off the double crochet. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim off our red yarn because we're not going to need it again. Leaving a long string also in case we use that one for, you know, seaming up the side. I'm not sure which color we're going to use yet. And leave that alone there. And again, we're going to chain 2. So this is row 12. I'm going to turn and double crochet in the first double crochet. And then double crochet across the whole row. And we are going to do this until we complete the hand warmer or fingerless gloves. So basically this row is going to be the same. The next row, you know, we're just going to chain 2, turn, double crochet across, chain 2, turn, double crochet across. So like I said, this was row 12, correct? So row 12, and we're going to do this until we have 16 rows. So this is row 12. At the end of row 12, I'll come back to talk about row 13, but it'll be the same for 13, 14, 15, and then I'll come back at 16. Okay guys, so I'm at the end here of row 12. And we're going to do our last double crochet, which is number 26 right here in the end. Let me move this out of the way. And like I said, from now on, so row 13 that we're going to start, 14, 15, 16 is going to be the same thing. So we're going to chain 2, turn, double crochet in the first double crochet, which is right underneath here, and across. So at the end we should have 26 double crochets. And when I come back, I'll be finishing up row 16, and so you'll see that the green it'll be about this wide, okay? Because it's just all the same. And you guys just learn how to change color. And the way I do it, there's lots of different ways. I mean, if you wanted to cut them off, like I said, at the end of each row, I just carry the yarns, however you want to do it. But if you keep cutting them off every time, you're going to have to weave in all of those ends. So that's the other reason I like to just kind of carry the yarn up until, you know, I have to come back and get it. Sometimes I did have to cut it off, right? But I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm almost at the end of row 16. This glove is like super fast to work up. But this is our row 16 and 25th double crochet and 26th double crochet. So now all we're going to do is not cut off our yarn, because we're going to use that same yarn just like I did with the snowman to sew up one side. And I'm only going to sew the green section with the green yarn. Now it's up to you if you want to sew the red and white sections with the red yarn or with the white yarn. Just pick one that's long, that will work. Okay, so let's just, the other thing is, pick which side you like to be your right side. That's going to be the side that's facing, you know, out. Or the one that's going to be the wrong side, the side that's inside touching your hand. So I already told you guys, whenever you start your chain and you have this little string at the end, that's basically, it's going to be like this. So when you chain back up, or you're doing your circle crochets back up towards the end of the chain, that's usually what they consider the right side. So whenever I see this little string, I already know this is the right side of my fabric. But if you don't like this side and you like this side better, fine, pick whatever you like. But just fold your glove in half so that the right sides are facing, right? Because we're going to sew on the ugly side. And then we'll go from there. Now, I'm not sewing in any of these ends right now because I'm going to use them. Maybe I'm going to tie some of them together. Whatever's easy for me to put that, to get rid of those yarn ends is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to, again, hold it right sides together. We're going to go ahead and chain, or I do a slip stitch, basically is what this is, what I do. But you can sew it however you like. These are double crochets, so we are going to have to slip stitch it in 2 spots because the post is long. So I'm just going to try to get this like in the same spot, which is basically the top of the chain 2. You know what I'm saying, when we started the row. So I'm just going to try to pick up those chains, or if not both of them, at least one of them, but that's the very top of the chain 2 from the beginning of the row. And I'm still holding my yarn here. And again, you can just use your tapestry needle and sew it. You can do single crochets across the top, whatever you want to do to stick this together. But I'm just going to pull this yarn through here. I'm trying to grab it, but it's giving me a little issue here. All right. I have too much more than just that yarn. Something else is on my hook because it's making it hard to... Here we go. All right. So there's that. And I've already told you guys, whenever you have double crochet, you want to do one in the post and one in that little hole, the same hole that you would do your double crochet. So I'm going to catch the post of the last double crochet, and I'm going to catch the chain 2. Okay? So when I do this, I'm going to go behind or in front of that double crochet, and I'm going to catch that chain 2, and I'm going to pull my yarn. Oopsie. Easier said than done. And I'm going to pull the yarn through and through the loop on my hook. Next time I do it, I'm going to go through the hole, that's the double crochet, like where we put it, and basically the same little hole opposite, and pull it through. Not super tight, you still want to keep the same kind of... Now this time, this is the chain 2, because it was, remember we kept flipping our work back and forth, so this is the chain 2 is right here. I'm going to go right under it, and then through to the double crochet post on the opposite side. Pull through, go through the hole, the matching hole on the other side, and pull through. And that's what I'm going to do for the whole thing, so I'm just going to do that real quickly without really discussing everything again. Through the post, through the chain, through the little hole. And that's an easy way to keep that lined up. Now if you want to go through the chain 2, but also the back side of the double crochet that was right next to the chain 2, you can do that too, but just do it consistently. Whatever it is that you choose to do here, double crochet right there. I have the chain 2, I have double crochet. If you wanted to go between those, that's up to you. But I'm going to go double crochet here and then just the chain 2 over here and pull it through, and this will be the last of the green. Okay, so I'm just going to leave me enough to weave in the end. And you can just kind of come over this way. I always pretty much end mine like that. Just pull it through. But we're going to weave that in. And then here, we're going to need something to help us weave right here. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take a little pause here. So I'm going to use this red one, and we're only going to sew up basically a couple more. I guess we could have done the green all the way across, to be honest, if you don't mind, because that's one less thing you have to do. But again, we want to leave 2 or 3 of the double crochet rows open for the thumb hole, right? And I like 3 for me. I think I left 2 or 3 open last time. Let me see what I do. Yeah, I did 3. Which is kind of a lot, but it was okay. So I'd rather do that than have it too tight. So I'm going to go in here, and so I'm going to use the red string that's just hanging out back here. And this time I'm going to go in the little hole like if I had my double crochet right here. So that's where I'm starting. And I'm going to pull up the red string, even though it's not really quite in position, but it will be once I pull it through. Again, not too tight, so I don't want to grab it there. Okay, and then we have a loop, and then I'm going to go through the post of this, actually that's the chain 2 right there, and then behind the double crochet behind it, and then again pull up and pull that through, going back through the hole this time, pull it through, and then we're going to use the post. Oh, I had another string here, and the chain 2, pull it through, and to end this one I am going to end in the little hole because we're going to leave it open right after this, so I don't want it to be too huge. So I'm going to go through again the hole at the base there, and it's right here, and then go ahead and pull through. Oopsie. Pull that loop through, and then at the end of the loop, like I did last time, I'll take the end of my yarn and pull it through. So that's another one we're going to weave in. We're going to weave in this, weave that in. We're going to weave in all these little end pieces. We're going to leave 3 rows open. So the red row, the white row, and the next red row is open. And then we're going to sew up the single crochet rows, those 6 rows, which is looks like 3, right? Because it looks like double crochets, but it's not. So let me find which string I could use to do that. This one's pretty good. Okay. This is the other thing. Once you're here, if you have some strings that are across from each other that you want to tie them together to tie them off, you can do that. You can just tie them. But 1, 2, 3. Let's sew that in. So at this one, I'm going to go at the base of our single crochet. So for single crochet, it's a little different because it really doesn't have a post. So I'm going to go through there. I'm going to pull this red one back, and then I'm going to the next single crochet. And this one, you're just kind of eyeballing this, to be honest, because it's hard to figure out where it is, but it's right there. Just do the same thing on opposite sides. Try to get in the same area, and you'll be good. Still trying to keep it together. If you run out of string, to be honest, I'll just tie on more. Like this is getting kind of short. We can end it here, use the white, tie on another piece to that red piece, whatever you need to do to get it going. Like right there, that kind of ended. So I'm just going to leave that. And I'm going to come through here and pick up this white piece to help me keep sewing. Ooh, that one's short too. You know what, that one's too short. Let's use this red one. It's very easy. Just pick whatever you need to do. I'll grab this red one. And we're at the end of our glove here. Oopsie, sorry, it was out of focus. I'm so sorry if I lost you guys, but basically just keep going through, of course. And I'm going to take both of these. Okay, and that is about it. But all of these little guys we have to weave in. So let me back up. I'm so sorry, I didn't see that it was out of focus. I don't know what happened there. So, all of these, we're going to take our needle and weave them in however we need to, back, forth, down, up, wherever you need these to go to make it make sense, to look nice. I'm just going to go back this way. And here, again, we're working on the back side of our glove, so if there's a little knot or something, it's not the biggest deal. Like I'm going to put a little knot there. And I continue kind of sticking it in between these rows here. And when I get to the end, just kind of pull it a little bit tight so when you cut it off, it'll kind of snugly go back into the work. Okay, and we're gonna put away all of these ends that same way. Weave them all in and I'll be back. Okay, this is my last one, so it looks kind of crazy back here, and even, you know, carrying yarns, there's still a lot to do. And here, another one here. Okay, so we're just gonna turn our glove inside out. And with this one, actually what'll be nice is that, oh, I hope that, you know what, let me make sure before I cut that off, let me just make sure that's not something I need to sew in. I'll just bring it to the back and I'll check that later, but I hate to cut it off right now and then needed it, right? So sometimes I hide from you guys. Okay, so when you make your gloves, you have one facing one way, one facing another way. What I mean is when you have your little hole, you should have one over here facing left, and then the other one you just flip it and you make them both the same way. I don't know what is going on with my camera. I feel like it's closing up when I don't want it to. So that's it. So before you decorate it, again, have one like this one. The hole is facing to the right, and this one's facing to the left, so you're decorating the tops of them. So let's try this on real quick. Oh, I like that. So this one I'm actually going to decorate on this back side, so this should be on my right hand because it's going to be the matching pair to the snowman we already did the other day, right? Again, you can make two of the same, but I just was doing one of each, and then there it is. So to make these little triangles, I increased from 1 stitch, 1 single crochet, all the way to 7 single crochet. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. It's not the easiest thing. You don't have to add this, but I mean, I think you should, right? So we're just gonna learn a little something new right now. And I haven't even written the pattern for this. I just kind of did it in my head and just worked on it the other day as I was making them. So hopefully I'll remember what I did, but it was pretty straightforward. Hopefully you guys can follow along. So again, let's make our loop. So this part is going to be kind of hard to see, but let me try and get you a little closer without, oh goodness, I hope most of this is recorded nicely. Okay, so we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, right? So here's our first, the second one, but 1, 2, right? So this is the second one, this is the first one. We're going to single crochet in that first one, so just right by the knot there, I'm going to pull up a loop. So it's kind of persnickety, but pull up a loop nicely and make our single crochet. So it looks kind of weird. It looks like a big jumbled mess. I'll leave it there so you can kind of look at it. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to turn it, even though it's hard to tell, but I'm going to turn it, and we're going to single crochet 2 into that same first single crochet we just made. So 1 single crochet, and then another one, right, in that same loop, and that same single crochet. So now we just increased 1 single crochet, so we have 2. It looks funny, I know. I'm going to chain 1, turn it over, and I just want you to see this is the top. We have our little V's, just like, because they're single crochets. We're going to increase in one of them and not in the other. So we're going to add, let's say in this first one, we're going to go into that first single crochet, say 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet into that same stitch, and then number 3 is just in the next single crochet over, right? So we had 2 at the bottom. So now I increased another single crochet. I have 3. Okay, and a lot of times to make this look nice, you would chain 1, turn, and then you just single crochet 1 in each 3, and then the next time add another one. But I didn't really care about that right now. I just wanted to make a triangle shape. So we're going to chain 1, turn. Now I'm going to put 1 single crochet in the first single crochet. In the second single crochet, I'm going to put 2, just to kind of space out the way we're doing our increases. So I'm going to put 2 single crochet inside of the second single crochet from the previous row. And in the last one, the third single crochet, I'm just going to put 1 single crochet. So now we have 4 single crochets here. Okay, now I'm going to chain 1, turn. I'm going to add 1 single crochet in that first one. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 single crochet in the second one. 2, so that's already 3. And then the last 2, I'm going to put in just 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet. And now we have 5 single crochets. Chain 1, turn. 1 single crochet, another single crochet, that's 2, in this middle one, and the third one I'm going to put 2 single crochet. And I'm just kind of like basically trying to evenly add in those single crochets, the extra one. And then 1 single crochet, and then 1 single crochet. So now we have 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chain 1, oopsie, chain 1, turn, and we can do, I'm going to add the 2 single crochet towards the end. So 1 single crochet in the first one, a single crochet into the next one. And I might write this up differently, I don't know, because like I said, I'm just making this up from my head and just spacing them out nicely. But so this is the 4th single crochet on right on top of the 4th one underneath, 5th one, so that's 5th single crochet, and the 5th single crochet I'm going to add another one, 6 in that same spot, and the last one will make 7, and that's it. That's how I made the little triangles. Now you're going to leave a nice long string so that we can tie this or sew this onto our glove, and then at this very end part I'm just going to pull the string through. Okay, now you have this freestanding piece. This piece right here is going to help us tie a little bell to the bottom, and then we're just going to evenly kind of see our glove, place that where we think it should go, and then just sew it on with our needle. So I'll be right back. When I make 3 of these, I'll make 2 more. Okay guys, so I have my 3 other ones here. They're all pretty uniform in size, and again, you know, you can look at it which side you like better to show facing up. To me, I can tell I like this side better. This is the last stitch. I don't know if you can tell how it has a nice top. So I just finished the single crochets, right? We left it off there. And then this would be the opposite way. And you can see it's kind of like nubbier. It's not as nice at the top. So all of mine are going to be facing this way with that last string going that way. So what I did on this one when I went to sew them on is you want them to face down, right? I guess you can have them facing backwards too. Whatever, however you want to sew them. If you want to sew them on so that they go this way on your hand, that's fine. I'm doing this way. And I kind of started with the middle one, and then I placed the other 2. So what's going to happen is one's going to wrap around a little bit on this back side, and this one's going to wrap around a little bit over here. But however you want to place them to begin with. And let's just get a little needle. Now the other thing we could have done is picked up stitches and then worked up from that, and that's a little more technical, so I didn't go that way route. But you can pick up stitches from here with like a single chain. Basically you're picking up, picking up however many you need, and then the next time you come back and single crochet and keep going and decrease till you make a point. But it's a little more technical, like I said, so I didn't want to go that route. Again, making sure we're decorating this the right side. I want this here, so I want, yes, so I want this here. And you can use pins or whatever. I'm just going to eyeball this. And this kind of has some roundness to it, but you just kind of flatten it out to make it straighter. And all I'm going to do is take this guy and basically try to stitch it into these posts, or however, just basically where the red and the green meet, right? But trying to stay with the red. So like maybe I'll get that one in here, and then I'll come back up through the single crochet. So the 2 little V-stitch on top is sitting on top of my needle here, and then go back down the next single crochet and kind of pick at some of that, the double crochet that's underneath there. And then I'll just kind of pop back up and come back up the other single crochet that's right next to this one. So I'm kind of tacking down every single crochet. I'm going to pull that through because I can't see much more. Now down through this single crochet, the next one, down into the double crochet underneath there, and back up through the single crochet that's right next. And I'm talking about the very top of the single crochet, right? And here's the last one. Gonna come through here. And maybe it's not the last one. What I'm gonna try to see, actually that's fine. There's still a little part of this V. I kind of wanted to come back and grab it. So let me try and do that. Right here. Just to make it a little more, finish it a little neater. Okay, I'm just gonna bring it back down into the middle of the glove. And this one you kind of have to turn it a little bit so you can see what you're doing. And just finish it off. And then, which is, for me, I'm usually tying it around and around to make some knots and all that. Now this one's kind of easy to bury because it's going to be behind the little It's gonna end behind this little guy. And pull it tight. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same for the other ones. I'm just gonna hold on to it and sew it down just like you saw me do right now. Down one single crochet, back into the double crochet behind it, and sew. And then the last one I'll be right back so we can put the bells on. Okay, last thing's adding the bells. I put these on just so I'd be almost done and I can just show you the glove being done. So all we're gonna do, so again, I just sewed them all on and then, you know, just cut them off in the back, right? So the little extra. And you just take your yarn and you can put it through. Now some of them are a little tighter, like the first two bells I used are smaller bells. So this one, I mean, you can just push it through, but if it's still hard to do that, what I usually do is I take my yarn and I'll twist it really tight and then like back on itself so it's really tight, and then just push it through as much as you can, see? And once you can kind of grab it or even use your finger to barely nick it there, it will come through, okay? And then I put the rest of it on a needle. Now you can just loop around there, I guess, and just tie it off if you wanted, but I try to make it a little nicer. So as it's held on there, I'm going to flip this back and just kind of go back through the base of the very tip of our triangle. Pull tight. Again, we're working on the back side, so I'm going to go through another piece of the work back here, the loop, and just kind of make a knot. So go back through before I tighten that little loop up, and then we just need to bury our string, however, just kind of back in through the work, just shoving it wherever it'll go. Give it a little tug, and that's it. This one, guys, I feel like it was easier to work up, but maybe that's just me. Now you have your little elf glove to go with your little snowman glove. And if you have any questions, guys, please leave them here. I'll try to explain. Like I said, sometimes it's easier to see something in a video than it is to write down, but there they are, pretty much the same, just two different styles. And so hopefully that taught you guys how to, you know, switch out colors, continue working. If you're doing two of the same, of course you would do two of the same. Just make sure your holes are on the right side before you start decorating, okay? So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.